down-to-earth issues in the very, very remote areas of Nepal with no road, no electricity, nothing. That's how people live while we live the way we live, or the people in Kathmandu and the urbanized areas live the way we live. Families still cook and generate basic indoor lighting on open fireplaces and so on. That's a mother with her children. 6 hours a day on an average. Carbon monoxide levels up to 80 ppms. Well, at 35 ppms you have to leave the room. It's life dangerous. Well, does she know that? And not just once every 3 years you're allowed to be exposed to 35 ppm. She's exposed 70 ppm 6 hours every day. Carboxyhemoglobin content in unborn children. What does it cause? The brain is not developed. Muscle tissues are not developed. Having been there 34 years, I see that in the children by growing up. So that's what I see in Humla and in Jumla when I visit these families. Well, we can do better, can't we? They never had opportunities like you and I. But together, if we put our hands together with these people and with our academic institutions, then we can do something. That's what they call forests, jungle. Why? Because it has been carried out, it has been cut down. And that little boy has fallen in one of the open fires you have seen previously, is harmed for life. Even his left arm he has put behind because he can't use it anymore, it's completely blackened. Why are so many few girls in school? Here you see, that's what they do, between 10 and 40 hours a week. So we have various generations, the young ones and the old ones. If you have a fly coming in front of you when you eat, you don't even think, you do like that. When I was preparing the slideshow, I thought, now let me count. I counted 48 flies. Doesn't bother it? It should bother. We can do better. They are human beings, made in the image of God like you and I, but never had chances like you and I. Therefore, we have a responsibility. Poverty has many faces and definitions and cannot easily be defined just with sheer numbers, because different standards and ethics are valuable in different countries and in a different context. But what poverty does do, independent of national borders, is manifest itself in the inability to meet human needs such as food, shelter, work, clothing, clean water, fuel, healthcare, and in particular education. It denies human beings the chance to live dignified lives with choices and opportunities to change and development. So the first key message which I would like to leave with you, and it's cutting a little bit here, you can see it, it's cutting it, are the 7 elements that help to break the vicious circle of poverty. And these 7 circles, or the 7 elements that help to break the vicious circle of poverty, are preventative health care, highly contextualized development solutions, close community involvement and participation, renewable energy resources and technologies, seeds for ongoing development, long-term project partnership, and the 7th, identify and share best practices. And I would like to show as well that they are not individual points to be addressed, they are clustered together as one, because they need to have been put together in a multi-sectorial way. Key message number 2 is that we build bridges and partnerships between all stakeholders in projects, which are the local community, of course, as you can see here, research development partners such as academic institution, Kathmandu University, which I'm still aligned with, have been working there for 11 years, EPFL, ETH, other universities I work with together from Switzerland, Fachhochschule in Basel, educational partners and donors and impact investors. So, who is RIDS-Nepal and who is RIDS-Switzerland? It stands for Rural Integrated Development Services, and we have been established legally with the Nepal government in 2062. That's the Nepali year. That was in 2005. Gramin Ekikrit Bikash Seva Nepal, we translate ourselves. which means Rural Integrated Development Services. What is RIDS and Switzerland? RIDS-Nepal and RIDS-Switzerland. Both organizations are non-governmental organizations founded in Nepal and in Switzerland in 2002 and 2013 respectively, and both NGOs are non-profit organizations involved in long-term holistic community development. That's a phrase I use very, very often because it's not the done thing, unfortunately, neither in Nepal nor in other countries. That long-term, holistic, multi-sectorial approach. We have field-based research, and we are funded by individuals, charities, and organizations, often philanthropic organizations. So what is the vision of RIDS-Nepal and RIDS-Switzerland? To improve Nepal's remote, poor mountain communities' overall quality and standard of life through the mission of implementing long-term holistic community development programs planned, designed, realized and followed up in joint partnership with the local communities within their own life's context. We do put special focus on the poor, marginalized and disadvantaged people, and that's why we are in Humla and Jumla, because no one really wants to go there. To Humla, where we work, you walk 8 to 10 days walking. Not like here, through the Himalayas. In mountains of Nepal. That's where we are. Here a quick map, and that's where we usually know. Human Development Index, Nepal goes at the United Nations list with 0.548. We all know that. You are all academicians. We know what that means. However, if you take that same arithmetic, how the Human Development Index is calculated with these 3 parameters of life expectancy, education, and the income, and you try to figure it out in Jumla, it's about 0.35, and in Humla it's about 0.244. And Nepal goes in the United Nations list as 0.54. That's what I meant before. Poverty has faces beside figures and data. So if you quote Human Development Index Nepal, very poor, 0.458. In Kathmandu it's higher. But in Humla it's less than half. There is no country, these 185 countries in the UN list, who has 0.244. No one. Experience shows that the community themselves identify, actually almost all the time, a toilet or a pit latrine, a smokeless metal stove, basic indoor lighting, and access to clean and sufficient drinking water from tap stands in the village as their most urgent issues they would like to address in a so-called holistic community development project. Therefore, we have created that so-called family of 4. Basic issue to address in a holistic community development project is therefore the family of 4. A pit latrine for each family, a smokeless stove in each family's house, basic indoor lighting inside the house, and access to clean and sufficient water in the village, usually through tap stands. Once the family of 4 is in place, and that takes usually 2-3 years in a village, depends on the village, depends on the awareness a village has, people all of a sudden have much better living conditions. No smoke in the house, no fecal contamination outside the roads and the rivers and so on, and they all of a sudden are healthy. They say, we are hungry, we would like to read and write, and therefore these are issues they have constantly raised again, and therefore we created a second body beside the family of 4, which is a rigid program, has to be implemented by all families, all together, always first the toilet, second the stove, basic indoor lighting and clean drinking water. And based on that, several years after, 1 out of this here 8, but so far 11 additional programs, RIDS-Nepal and RIDS-Switzerland have learned skills. We can partner with local people. Udarang, I almost said. For example, scholarships to the Kanali Technical School for able women and men, malnourished children programs, low sand water filter, solar bathing center. This technology has all been developed in Kathmandu University while I was there as a visiting professor, with students who are, some are here, some are in Australia, some are back again in Nepal, all local developed, local manufactured. 7 elements that help to break the vicious circle of poverty. As we said, the first one is preventative healthcare. Yes, we need curative healthcare, important. However, in my opinion, that's heavily overemphasized. Always curative. You give tablets, injections, then you send them back to the smoke-filled room. They come back in 2 weeks again. Right? So we need other solutions. That's the solution it is. So we do measure carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, particulate matters, 2.5 particulate matters, 10, all that stuff we measure. And find out what is the situation. Did you know that 4.3 million people die annually, unnecessarily, due to the direct impact of indoor air pollution by using biomass? It's double the number of HIV deaths and malaria deaths, double the number. Everybody knows about HIV, everybody knows about malaria. They have billions of dollars raising for HIV. It's not even half. No one knows that. And these are women and children, mainly. Wow. So we measure here, as you can see, carbon monoxide, particulate matters. I just started. And that's how it can be. That's in one of our offices. That's how it can be through a smokeless metal stove I designed. Malnourished children are plentiful. So we have created a malnourished program for children under 5 years of age and their mothers. So we teach the mothers with their local available ingredients, what they grow, how to use it for their children. Highly contextualized solution. What do I mean by a contextualized solution? In the renewable energy sector, what I mean is, for example, this mouthful of definition of renewable energy technology is contextualized when its design has emerged based on the end user's energy service demands, their living conditions, economic power, understanding and knowledge, as well as being able to manufacture it. And these are some of the technologies I developed, usually with the Kathmandu University, and are all manufactured in Nepal. We do not import anything. Everything. Why? Because I believe strongly it's important, like Ms. Antara said, that economic factor is so crucial. If we don't provide jobs, but they need to do something, so you need to provide products. But to have products, you need to have research. And before research, you need to have the idea. And before the idea, you need to identify the needs, which the local people identify. Do you see all that? That's very important. That's why I love these 3 points. That's exactly what we do on a very practical, down-to-earth basis. That's how the villages look like. 10 days walk, you come to this village from the next road there. 10 days. We don't even have so many holidays. And then back 10 days back again, you know. So these are some of the technologies we developed. I'm not going into that, no time. And this is the particular, that stove, for example, we manufacture now 42 companies have by Alternative Energy Promotion Center, APC, everybody knows that, have been pre-qualified to manufacture that stove I designed in the 90s. By the thousands are they produced. How wonderful is that? In Nepal, by Nepali hands, and people can earn a living and can send their children to school. That's how it looks now. Remember the picture before? That's how it looks now. Solar PV, basic indoor lighting. Well, everybody puts a solar home system on the roof. Yes, that's good, but it's not quite the proper way. Because some houses are individually standing on their own. Some houses are clustered together. Sometimes whole villages are clustered together. So I just skipped that. So we have individual home systems, we have cluster systems, and for whole villages, tracking systems we develop. Just to make sure that we have particular contextualized solutions for the people. So previously they had smoke-filled room with jaro. We all know what that means. It's dialo or jaro, depends where you live in Nepal. And now we have 1 watt LEDs. By the way, in 1999, where in Switzerland nobody even knew what are white LED lights. We electrified the whole first village in Nepal with LEDs. How wonderful is that? And it came only out in 95 by Alicia in Japan. Slow sand water filter. We have fairly clean drinking water from the tap stands, but they transport it home, store it unhygienically because dogs and chickens and mice and so have access. So I developed this slow sand water filter. 3 to 4 months we have only green vegetables. No wonder everybody is short of vitamins. So I designed with a PhD student from Unilever this high altitude greenhouse. So now people can grow 10 months per year vegetables, and they mushroom these greenhouses by the hundreds. Nobody washes from September to March. Why? The water is 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. You're not going to wash your head. The last few brain cells, especially now age, are gone. But scabies is number one sickness. Skin sickness is just unhygienic conditions. Heat it up, we have solar energy to waste. So, Kathmandu University, we developed that, and already 2 high altitude bathing centers in communities have been. Close community involvement. No question to start with and to end with and hand over everything to the local community. They have to identify their own problems and solutions. We are just partners. That should be Nepali, so obviously we don't have the script there. We created non-formal education classes for women, because the women, you saw what they do. They collect firewood, they sit 6 hours in the house, and the rest, they are all the time pregnant and in the fields. And now small girls can start reading and writing, and she's so eager. She has to look after the little one, but she wants to learn it, so just take him along. Renewable energy resources and technologies. Well, that's the gold of Nepal. Water, sun, wind at some places. We have that plentiful, so let's tap into it and let's sell it to India instead of importing dirty generated electricity from coal power plant in Kathmandu. At the moment, 200 megawatt. Nobody knows that really. Government thinks, well, we have provided, well, no, that's not really the right way. We have it at home, but first we have to understand the resources, the wind, solar. Here an example, the first pico hydropower plant probably in the world without a single gram of cement. Wood and stones and 15 kilo generator. A motor misused as a generator. Yes, it's very inefficient, but it runs. It gives electricity. It was running 7 years. Why without cement? Because the cement in that village where we built it was 30 times the price than where we bought it. And the community has about 15 times less income. So the mathematicians, you know, the poverty gap. So if you build something with cement there, you have to ask a question, can that be sustainable? Probably not. High altitude greenhouses, look outside, nothing, not even started plowing. Inside, full of green cauliflowers. Big, 10 months out of the year instead of, look, that's how it looks now, every single house. How wonderful is that? Look, freezing cold, and in the evening, gobi comes on. That's how it looks now inside. Every single house has a toilet. And then we have to dry as well the gobi or the zahnd or the masu. So again, Kathmandu University project, solar dryer. It's on the market, you can buy it in Kathmandu. Seeds for ongoing development, and very, very fast. Education. That's where we come with academic institution, as Ms. Antaras just said. So important. Well, it's not a bachelor or a PhD, but it's an apprenticeship. You know, Kanali Technical School. United Mission to Nepal, I worked for many years, from 1979 to 1995. We built here 40 houses. And from 2005 till now, we have 22 young men and women we have been able to give a full scholarship for 3 years. They are now farmers in husbandry or midwives, nurses. They can feed their own family. You're not changing just their lives, you change their children's lives and their generations to come, their lives. Long-term project partnership, it's very, very crucial that unfortunately in Nepal and other countries too, NGOs go out and say, okay, where is money? Oh, here is money. For what do you want to do with that money? They say something. Okay, we do that. Next year is something else. Half a year, 1 year project. It's not the proper way. After our 30 years experience, it's not the right way. We need to have long-term established relationships with donor agencies. We are in certain villages already the 15th year. But did you see all the greenhouses there, one after the other? In 1998, we started work there. That's 19 years now. But you go today, it's a different world. And identify and share best practices, and that's where we are maybe a little bit more common. Kathmandu University. Nothing goes without academic institution. Why? Because that's where knowledge is created. And without knowledge and understanding, how can we identify needs, can bring forth solutions and manufacture solutions, monitor these solutions, and so on and so on. We can't. So we do need. So what I've done during my 11 years in Kathmandu University, I developed a 2 years master degree in renewable energy. Well, can it be more contextualized? It's all about Nepal. Look, every topic looks into renewable energy. Chapter 2, renewable energy resources. What do we have? Solar, wind, water, biomass, and so on. Even my PhD thesis was about the role of renewable energy in holistic community development. That was the topic. You don't really hear very much that access to improved energy services, mainly electricity, but not only, also hot water, also other issues of energy services, are crucial to any development project. You don't hear these things. So I looked into this. I've been teaching at the Kathmandu University. I even brought some of my coordinators from Humla. We did very practical issues at the university. I'm clicking through. And then we go and measure stoves in the villages. Students had to go with me down into the villages and measure. Actually, that's a hotel where she cooks tea and sail rotis and chapatis and dal bhat for people who come with the bus. And in between, we measure. Our dear old friend, Professor John Cannell, outstanding. He loves teaching, and even more, he loves the students. And in this way, we can prepare an enthusiastic, qualified, and responsible new generation of citizens with a vision, a passion, and a heart for the people. And these are, like Ramesh said, he reminded me that we are getting tired. I forgot all about it, but it's true. So we are handing over now. More and more we hand over to you guys. We have been learning and making lots of mistakes. So what's the issues? We have an academic institution like Kathmandu University, could be EPFL. We have the big mass of the local people who have never opportunities to do that. What a huge gap. No shoes, no education, no light, no stoves, no drinking water. Everything they have. Gadgets, iPhone, electricity, motorbikes. Who bridges this gap? And that's where organizations such as RIDS-Nepal wants to purposely make a stand and stand into the gap and bridge these things. That's why I want to teach in this academic institution. That's why I want to spend as much time as I can there. I just came back 3 months spending with these people. And like here in Humla, I developed a high altitude research station. This is exactly at 3,000 meters. You can see the first greenhouse, the first solar dryer, the first bathing center, the first solar PV trackers. Everything has been tested there for 1-2 years, and once the small mistakes have been found out and improved, only we bring it into the village. Now I'm really done. These are the 7 elements that help. It's not a silver bullet. That help break the vicious circle. That just quickly, this is the village I just talked in 1998, Morigaon in Jumla. Should open, it's a big one. I just took that 3 weeks ago. A high quality picture panorama should open. Yeah. Does it? Oh, it should not open in another one. Because now can we zoom in the normal one? You can zoom. Let it quickly open. That's the village. 20 years ago was not even half the size. Not a single metal roof was there. Not a single greenhouse. Every house has a greenhouse. Every house, if they have a greenhouse, they have all a stove. If they have a stove, they have all a toilet. If they have a drinking water system, which they have, several 5 taps, they have a slow sand water filter at home. If they have a greenhouse, they have a solar dryer. Now, can you zoom in? Still loading. It's a huge file because you can open it, and then you see here all the solar panels. Each house has a 20-watt solar panel, 3 LED lights, a smokeless maker stove, a solar dryer, a toilet, a greenhouse. It's a different world. That's what is possible. And then we go on, we go on. So that we can see more such faces. And if you have any question, then at the end, please do feel free, otherwise then